Welcome back, everyone. It is episode 27, Thursday, February 24th of Beastern Boys Sports Talk with Marcus and Silas. And we have a pretty short episode. Welcome. We had a couple days off. Just nothing really kind of this whole week with, we have NFL offseason, NBA All-Star Game, kind of like All-Star break, and then college basketball with like the Juwan Howard talk. So
and then MLB lockout too.
Oh yeah,
so we're a few days from basically having either games canceled or season. I mean, I'm leaning towards season being canceled, but
wow.
So,
start
with college basketball.
Yeah,
just this one story.
Yeah, Juwan Howard. We're a little bit outdated, and it happened I think a couple days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago.
He was at the end of the game versus he's the Michigan head coach.
Yes.
At the end of the game versus Wisconsin, he was annoyed that they called it a late timeout, but he was pressing the entire game.
Yeah.
The final 2 minutes, he was still pressing. It's all right, you gotta play to your strength and make sure you don't give back the lead. I mean,
yeah.
Throwback, Tracy McGrady.
Yeah.
Down by 11, and he just goes crazy. It can happen. But
anything, yeah.
Yeah, and he assaulted the head.
There's no other way to say it.
It's he smacked him.
Causing kind of a brawl between the teams and pulling coaches apart. And
fines. Yeah. Players is suspended. He is suspended for the rest of the regular season. A lot of people were instantly saying oh, he should be fired. That's job ender.
Yeah.
Where is your stance on that?
I think it can be. It's up to the organization. It's also up to I don't know how him and the assistant coach handled it after. Mm-hmm. If they were able to go in the locker room and shake hands or move on eventually and admit that their wrongdoings, or especially him admitting his wrongdoings, I think but if he, some people like to die on their hill. If he's he deserved it, or right? If that's what his stance on it, which obviously we would never hear in public, I don't know. I think if I'm an athletic director, God, I mean, I think you're fired. If it's completely up to me, that's a really bad president. You're 8th in the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. It's not like we're talking about a great basketball team. They're 15 and 11. This isn't a great basketball team in any sense.
Yeah, I think my opinion is just it's just competitive nature, and I think the suspension is perfect. Just for the rest of the regular season.
It is only about 6 games.
Yeah,
so it's not like we're at the halfway point or anything. But
yeah, it's near the end. But I don't think he should lose his job over it. I mean, look at Myles Garrett. I know
so that was completely different sport. Completely different.
But
and he technically used a weapon because it was a helmet.
Yes, that was straight up assault.
That was he could have gone to jail for that if
it wasn't in the NFL.
Yeah. No, even if Rudolph wanted to fully press charges, there was talk about that he could actually get charged with assault. But it is different. But it's the same thing of it's not right, and no one supported him when he did that. But it is the competitive nature of playing a professional or a collegiate.
And Juwan Howard was a player.
Yeah,
so.
He's played a few years. Played for a while, actually, I believe.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's obviously going to have that competitive nature. So.
Yeah. It's something that can't happen, though.
No, it really can't.
Say,
it can't be a reoccurring where he has a hot head. He's man, don't press then, man. You're down by 11 or 13. Don't press anymore.
Yeah. It is one of the things where it can't happen again with him. And the bad part is, if this happens to another coach, we likely see him get fired. Because this can't be a precedent where that can be a thing.
No.
And we've seen, and I don't mean to say that it's super different being football, but the physical nature of football makes it more acceptable, not to hit players, but to be more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen coaches hit players with a helmet on over the back of the head, or grab them. It's very different. It's different when you're strapping a helmet on and smacking your head into other grown men than it is basketball,
mm-hmm.
just the way you play the sport. But, yeah, it's not okay. And, if that was a player, his job's gone. So, yeah.
And then, kind of one of the other college basketball things over this weekend, my buddy at Santa Clara, he came in for the weekend, the whole 4-day weekend. It was super fun having him, and we had tickets for the Gonzaga game versus Santa Clara. They didn't cover, but wow, it was just such a different atmosphere. I've never seen a student section like that go. It was probably the biggest student section I've ever seen, just personally.
Which is funny though, because it's most likely not, because it's 6,000. It's probably under 2,000 in the student
How
section.
spread out it was. Half,
it looked crazy,
and the chants, like at the end of the game. It was just like it was giving me chills. It was just insane, and even so, it was only an 11-point game. It felt like it should have been like 25.
Yeah.
Because I mean, second half, I think Timmy does like 3-and-1s back to back to back. It was insane. It was crazy. I mean, Chet did not have a good game. I mean, well, offensively, defensively.
He had a bunch of blocks,
oh my
didn't he?
gosh, the blocks he had were filthy. I mean, they're number one for a reason, but we'll see how the tournament, because that's what they always knock down.
They got to prove something, man. Like, I'm a big Gonzaga fan, but you can't be a number one in the worst conference of any Division One and
it's like the
not
Cowboys.
have but then not have anything to show for it. Because people love to say it, and they're good, but until you've got some
competition.
Yeah, until you got a March Madness championship, national championship to show for it, it's people won't take it as seriously.
Yeah, but it was such a fun game overall. It'll be interesting within the tournament. We'll definitely be doing brackets. I think next week. Yeah.
Oh, I'm super. That's gonna be we're gonna have like a super episode. Go through. That'd be really fun.
Yeah. And then let's go into NBA All-Star game. We really didn't want.
I mean, Steph set a record, so 15
that's
threes,
crazy.
15 for 18, 50 points. Shout out Kobe.
No defense that week.
If we're being honest,
it was shoot around.
It was a stand with your hands up, maybe. Sometimes they wouldn't even put.
Giannis did a nasty block on his own teammate. Chris Middleton.
It was at the point where I was like, wow, this is quite a joke.
Yeah, it's pointless. It's almost. I think the NBA did it right to make it different rule changes, like a target score.
Yeah, they make it fun. It's so much more fun to watch than the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
it's
way better.
It's not even comparable.
But man, it's just I don't know. It's also the dunk contest.
Such a joke.
Dude.
There was better in-game dunks in the All-Star game than there was in the dunk contest where you could travel and not have to dribble.
Yeah. Literally, and then 3-point contest. Karl Anthony Towns won it.
Did he really?
Yeah, the big guy.
No way.
That was really cool.
That's really funny. I saw CJ McCollum talking trash before. Talking about, put money on me, I'm a plus 600. I was dying. I think he's funny
CJ.
for that.
I mean, I'll always love CJ.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's definitely been a rough year for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a kid, which is awesome, highlight.
Yeah.
But, I mean, lung collapse, failing season, and then goes to poverty franchise. The Pelicans, what we can totally transition with them, was all of a sudden just blew up, like, literally today. As we're recording. Zion's like, CJ came out a couple days ago and said how he literally hasn't had Zion hasn't contacted him yet and said hi.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And then JJ Redick, he's obviously
he retired after playing with them last year.
Yeah, and he obviously showed he really wasn't happy with the Pelicans.
Yeah.
He came out and he was like, he's a little bit, selfish. And it's kind of crazy, but at the same time, it's not crazy. Like, he hasn't been on the court.
Yeah, and I agree with not being on the court, but what I don't agree with is as a young guy, why are we rehabbing in Portland?
Yeah.
Why are we not giving the team updates? Why are we not, inviting someone, not even inviting, congratulating someone and saying I'm a new teammate of yours seems like the bare minimum, especially with the biggest star. And then also I saw on their website, their 2022-23 season tickets have nothing about Zion. Nothing. It talks about CJ and it talks about B.I., Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Nothing about him.
And CJ's a great veteran presence for Zion.
Yes.
Totally.
So I guess even if he wants to leave, I really just think there's no excuse for handling it like this. You're a second-year player who's played 35 games in 2 seasons.
When he was healthy,
he's good.
He was friggin' dominant. I almost was saying he's more dominant than Giannis.
No, nowhere points-wise. He's too easy to... I don't agree at all. Giannis averages 10 more points, but in the 30 games we saw... But in the 30-something games, I think it was 45 games we saw in his career, super dominant. Stick him at number 10 best player in the league the day he comes back, but you can't act out like this when you're proving you can't stay healthy. I see an Anthony Davis or a Kawhi future. When you're there, you're good, but golly, you're going to miss a lot of games. Are you not going to be there majority of the time?
The best ability is availability. That's why
it is.
LeBron's been so great.
I would rather have him average 4 less points and play than I would not. You know what I mean? Only come and...
And the whole, I think their president or something, like they have like friction and he feels like he's away from the team. It's like, well, dude. Like,
yeah, it's. I just think it's inexcusable as a young guy. If you're a veteran, I think it's more acceptable to take a step back and go hit where you want to get better and do your thing. I don't think it's acceptable at 22 when you've played half of a season. All you've caused is drama and injuries. I think the best thing you do is stick with your team. Rehab in New Orleans. Rehab in Baton Rouge for like years. Stay in the area. Stay in the South. Like,
stop eating the gumbo, dude.
Yeah, stop eating so much. Like, I know he's lost weight and apparently he's in good shape, but it just shows so much immaturity to me. So much. And every time it's brought up, it's not good. And then he's not defending himself. He's not back in New Orleans. He's not talking to CJ.
It feels like the same attitude at most as like Ben Simmons.
Yeah, it does.
It's annoying. It's like
you've gave up.
Be a veteran. Like act, dude. You're like 23 now.
Yeah, yeah. Or you're not the 19-year-old that they drafted that was too young. It's not.
No.
It's not a valid excuse at this point.
No, bro. Like, I don't know. At the same time, like when I think of Zion, like he needs to be a small forward. I don't know. Like I feel
we
like
talked
if he
about
can
that.
cut weight and be slimmer, I think that's easier on his knees and longevity for his career.
Because that's what I think too. Is what if he comes back at kind of like what we saw him as a rookie / Duke time, like that perfect build of driving and dunking and hitting open threes, like he was when he was healthy. But if that's just leading to more injuries because he's dunking and jumping 4 feet off the ground every play, we got to change that, man. Like this isn't. We're not playing the. How many games can you play in a row till we get hurt? We're playing. Can we have an NBA career? Like
he hasn't played all year, and then all of a sudden, like last week, I see a report is like, yep, he's getting surgery on his foot. It's like
again.
So out indefinitely.
And that team must be really frustrated after getting minimal updates. He's not rehabbing where you are. He's not rehabbing with the team.
And they won the lottery somehow.
And they won,
to get him,
which what everyone wanted. It was not even a question. It was like. But it was like the Trevor Lawrence draft, where it was everyone wanted him. They knew who was one. There was no question. Yeah. He was in New Orleans before the draft happened for that reason. But it's like, it's a bad look. And jumping over to someone else who's injured all the time is Anthony Davis, who's going to be out for about 3 weeks. And the way this All-Star game is set up...
That was very unfortunate luck. Like
it was. He's Mr. Cripple.
Yeah.
So my 2 facts I want to throw out for you. In his career, he's played 176 of 777 games. Yes, 23%. Of games. 23% of games in his career he's missed. Kawhi, which is...
because he sat like a whole year.
He sat a whole year. He sat...
Not even injured.
Just sat. He sat games last year. He's been hurt this year. Yeah. The only other person close to that, superstar-wise, is Kawhi, who's played in 265 of 841 games, sitting at 31.5%.
Dang.
These dudes have just said, I have the list in front of me. I'm not going to read it because it's all knee injuries. Every single one of them. I don't think, outside of Anthony Davis' finger sprain and Kawhi having a torn ligament in his elbow years ago, it's bad. It's really bad. And both of them also throwing load management in there when they're healthy, to me, is such a joke.
Yeah.
When you're not playing, literally AD can't play a quarter of games.
That's ridiculous. And and
he's 28.
Oh.
Steph's 4 years older than him, or 4 years older than him, probably.
That's ridiculous.
There's no excuse for it other than
and Curry has ankle problems.
Curry had broken ankles, sprained ankles, torn ligaments. That was the discussion. Is Curry going to be an injury? Knock on wood. Buddy has had no injuries since then.
I think that broken hand.
Yes, that's the only thing though, and that sent him out in a year where they already knew that they weren't going to do anything with no Clay and no second option, and that was a bad year, but. I'm not meaning to shit on someone. It's an injury. There's little you can do about it, but something has to happen. Every 10 games, AD can't shoot a jumper and come down grabbing a knee or an ankle and then miss 3 weeks. That can't happen.
No.
It can't happen.
Especially being 9th right now in the West.
And also the All-Star game, so there's 82 games. I think the All-Star game was played, if I'm not mistaken... No, I'm talking about the number of games. I believe we're 2/3 of the way through the year. So this is an all-time late All-Star game. So we're almost. Some teams are 55 games through of the 82, when normally it's smack dab at 41.
Yeah.
So that's also something to consider, that it's not like we have a full another half.
No. This is the final stretch. This is.
Yeah, the Warriors have played 59. They've played almost, tonight they'll play their 60th of their 82 games. So we're getting close. And if he's out for 3 weeks, that means he's coming back with 5 games left. It could be too late.
Yeah.
It really can.
Speaking about a guy who is injured right now, it's Lillard.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit last night of the Draymond Green podcast. And,
Big fan. I don't know how you feel, but
and Lillard was on it.
Uh-huh.
I only watched maybe 12 minutes of it. I went to bed, but man, he was talking about Tokyo. He's like, yeah, I was hurt during Tokyo. He's like during the playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
He's like it was really beaten up. I was doing medication, rehab, everything before games. He's like, and that was when I was playing my best ball. And he's like, he was explaining how he doesn't know that he's that hurt until he's walk. He's also he's like, yeah, I'm walking and it really hurts. And
with no medicine, no basketball when he's back at
home.
home.
His experience at USA where people were already dogging him, and it's I don't know. I mean, I remember there's always that report of the ab thing. I was like, that's gotta be super serious, man. And Draymond was I was happy that he finally got it, because we're not in a position
no
at all where we're gonna go to the playoffs or anything. Well, technically right now, but now Nurkic, just out of the blue has a plantar fasciitis. He probably does have it, but as we're winning games, they're like, oh no, he's out for 4 weeks.
That's a hard one. And a family who has it, it's a lingering thing.
Yeah.
You see it in football where you have it and then it gets worse and it all of a sudden is a problem. But
and he's out for a month. He's out.
Yeah. So that's the season. Basically.
Yeah, that's the season.
He can come back with 5 games if he chooses.
And we have the Pelicans and we have our first round pick, which we'll probably be losing. Which I'm happy. I want to see Anthony Simons build.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for him to play with.
And there's some good bigs in the draft. That's my big thing I'm thinking about is with healthy healthy Anthony Simons, an off-season pickup, and a big. Between Jaden Ivey and Chet, you're not getting Chet, but there's a lot of dudes, man. Power forward, center, it's really, really heavy in this draft.
Because then as we're going down, we might see Kings in the play-in. Yeah. We might see the Kings in the play-in.
How cool is that?
That'll be awesome. That'll revive their career, and they're gonna have a statue of Sabonis.
Oh yeah,
I wanted Sabonis.
I'm a big Sabonis fan. Yeah,
Gonzaga. They're gonna make a push.
One of my favorites.
Pelicans are trying to, but it just seems like they can't.
Yeah, I think the same thing. They don't have enough stars. Yeah, I think that the Blazers, the big 3, which is or 4 even, that's the bottom 4 in the West for the play-in is Timberwolves, Clippers, Lakers, Blazers. It's funny because the top 6 I all can see as a playoff team. Those bottom 4 aren't winning a playoff series. Blazers, Lakers, Clippers, Tims.
Even
Lakers,
2 games.
Even 2 games. The Lakers could win 2 with a healthy AD, but outside of that, Nuggets, Mavs, Jazz, Grizz, Warriors, Suns are beating all 4 of those teams.
Ugh.
So it's super interesting. But the East has a lesser ranked number 1 and 2 seeds. But, they're way deeper. You go down to 8 and you have Raptors, Nets, Celtics for 6, 7, 8. That's... And then Hornets, which I know they've lost a few straight, but they started off really good. And the Hawks even, can get really hot. And so...
Yeah, and Trae Young, he's good.
Yep.
But, man, I'm really happy where the Blazers are, realistically. Also, the Spurs are right at 11, and they didn't make it to playoffs last year, but their efficiency rating is through the roof.
Yeah.
It's projecting that we get the 5th and 6th pick. If we can flip one of the 5th or 6th pick and maybe Josh Hart and a couple guys for a superstar, that would be awesome. A small forward, power forward, and then get a big. That would be really awesome. But I'm intrigued who we also get if we keep roll with this GM because I don't know, he made ballsy moves.
Yeah.
As an intern made ballsy moves.
He didn't play conservative at all.
No, he's all right, we're going out.
Yeah.
We
bases in no time to be wasted.
That was where McCollum's ceiling was the highest. Really.
Yeah.
It
really
his value was, or it was probably last year, honestly.
Yeah.
But what else?
I want to talk about Kemba Walker real quick. So
yes.
Earlier in the season, I know he was taken out of the rotation after dropping 29 points in an away game, which I was like, why? That made no sense to me. You're 28, whatever the heck it was. And then he got reinserted in the rotation. I was just reading it somewhere down here. When he was reinserted, he had 44. So if that's not a screw you to Thibodeau, whatever his name is, the Knicks coach.
I'm not a big fan, but...
Really, I hate that dude.
But he brought him to the playoffs last year.
Yeah,
which was
insane. I know, but... And, I don't know, quite confused about why he's not in the lineup. I haven't gotten a real decision. I know that when he was in and out earlier, it was via a knee injury, which was odd for him to be coming back and leaving, and then coming back and dropping 40. It seemed really fishy.
Yeah.
And now I don't think we're getting an official reason. I mean, I don't see anything yet. He's been shut down for the season. I'm sorry, I don't know if I've stated that, but yeah, it just says trying to revitalize his career despite injury concerns. It says they're likely going to trade him in the off season. I just can't find a genuine reason. If he's injured, they would have stated via injury, via surgery, rehab. But not saying that gives me a kind of icky feeling. So, what do you think? I mean, it's a very odd situation.
Yeah, it's weird because I remember I don't know, it's one of those players where like, oh, I totally forgot. Like,
you forget he exists sometimes,
that
right?
it's also Zion, literally.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was a baller in Charlotte. He, did he go to OKC or didn't? Yeah, he went to OKC, which was weird. That's so weird to think about.
I know, it doesn't fit.
Yeah, and then he went to,
he actually never played a game there, so he signed there.
Oh, okay, so it's like the Melo thing with the Hawks.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he went to, Boston, where I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be legit.
Yeah.
Played probably his worst ball at Boston.
Shooting the 3 at basically a career low, having really bad nights. Like, he averaged 19 a game, which isn't bad, but they handed that man money, and he basically played like a role player.
Yeah, for his money, it wasn't. Yeah. And it was also supposed to be like almost like a veteran presence for Tatum.
Yeah, it was, and it really didn't turn out like that. It turned out with the same thing. It was the same issue, not the same, but similar things they had with Kyrie, where it never fit, never got chemistry, and then kind of just got fizzed out of the lineup and disappeared.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of more like an ISO guy.
He is. Yeah, it's hard to be an ISO guy, though. I mean, he's listed at 6 foot, but when you're 5'11" and the 3 ball isn't your specialty, it's really hard to play ISO ball, let alone when you're when you're averaging, like, this season he averaged 11 points a game. So, no, we're not calling ISOs for 11 points a game, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, or 3 assists.
Yeah, and, I mean, what do you think about, like, the Knicks? I mean, Knicks went to the playoffs. They were pretty good. It was a fun series versus the Hawks and the Knicks.
Love that series.
It was so much trash talk. That's what we live for. For
love
playoff basketball.
That's, every sport playoff gets so much.
Yeah, and they're 12th right now. 25 and 24, they are 3 games away to 10th, so it is competitive.
They've had a lot of drama this year between trading people and then players.
Julius Randle hasn't.
Yeah.
Like the fans are starting to hate him.
Starting to turn on him, and then
doesn't make any sense. Like, dude, you loved him last year.
Yeah, it's like it makes no.
Very typical Knicks fans.
God, New York media is such a joke.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's super interesting. And then even some young guys with RG Barrett, like, you hear talks about we wanted to trade this guy, we shouldn't have traded this guy, and super weird lineup. Like, Derrick Rose is gonna be their starting point guard going forward, and Evan Fournier, who was good a few years ago, but really hasn't found his niche. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he was just such an interesting player. Like, just super hot and cold. Depends where he is. As a Celtic, it really was a bad fit. But yeah, it's real interesting. I'm really curious of what they do in the offseason. I meant to say obviously he played the Celtics, but in Orlando was when he was really good, Evan Fournier, before they blew that up.
Yeah. And
they let everyone go in Orlando. Mm-hmm. They said, you want a guy, you want a guy, you want a guy. We want picks.
Yeah.
So, and I'm curious to see how they develop.
And they just traded for Cam Reddish. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan.
Me too.
I really hope he develops into something.
Bring those Duke guys back to them, and RJ.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I really like those two. I really like those two.
I do too.
And they're always like, we gotta get Zion.
But isn't it a bad look? And I know that not everything is true, not everything comes from the source. But when you're hearing their coach state that he didn't like the trade or wish they went for someone else, God, is that bad?
Yeah, it just doesn't feel good.
And I know we say this, or I say this more specifically often, but I feel like if that's not true, there's a need to defend yourself there.
Yeah.
As that Knicks coach, if that is completely BS, you should speak out and say, I'm thrilled for him to be here. And I don't know what they're talking about, but that is not what is happening. So if you're not, and I know that's not how it works because they don't always speak up, but if you're not, it gives me an icky feeling. It's like, is that true? Yeah. It makes people believe, damn, that's true. He really doesn't care and wish he got someone else.
Yeah, Knicks are weird, very weird for such an awesome, surprising year last year. To kind of fall flat right now, but also we got a couple more games left. But man, I think there was a team I did want to talk about.
I just want to get in some baseball.
Yeah. Oh, as we wrap into and basketball talk.
Yeah.
We just had our intramural basketball game. I don't remember the actual score, but
we won by 26.
Yeah. Okay. Mercy rule happened. We got a pickup. We got a free agent pickup. It was an athlete, and it was just not fair.
Yeah,
was not.
We'll leave
fair.
the name of it, but
yeah, we'll leave.
It's quite the perk when you can just call up a D1 athlete and have them join your rec team on any day. But
definitely was
quite
not,
the benefit.
Yeah, I mean, we were in a non-competition for a reason, and that'll probably be. He dropped 36 points. He dropped 36 points.
36 of our like 60. Like, it wasn't like
I played like doo doo.
I played so bad.
Like dumb brains. Yeah,
they had some good guys that actually could play defense, but
no, he was just way too quick.
Good luck guarding. Yeah.
No, we'll leave name anonymous.
Yeah, turn on some football next year. You'll see some TVs, my guy.
Yeah,
but super fun though. Yeah. Love it. We always have so much fun. That's all that matters, and that's really what matters at the end of the day.
Like we're going to the playoffs now.
Yeah, and the people we play had a fun time too. It's not like we were rubbing their face. We always enjoy time.
Well, one of our teammates got in
scuffle with God.
A little scuffle with a girl. She, our friend Michaela, I don't even know what happened.
The other girl's elbowing her.
Yeah,
and she was just like...
She got elbowed, and it happened the third time, and she just goes berserk, cussing her out. Cammy grabs her, and I'm like, hey, it's okay. But it was just like, I'm back on the court. Yeah. She's guarding her and goes, Silas. She just says across the court, switch with goggles. Because she has glasses. I go, oh my gosh.
I know.
I go, this girl is fuming right now. I was like, she needs to just take a chill pill.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But playoff time, we'll give a recap, tell you how we do. We definitely play a little more serious, probably like actually run some offense instead of running around. Not like plays, but like more actual picks and some movement, because we basically were just standing there on the 3-point ring and letting him do his work. But should we wrap up the last 2-3 minutes here with some baseball talk?
Yeah, baseball. Yeah.
So it happens every time. It's called a CBA, the Collective Bargaining Agreement, and every sport has it. It's the deal between players and owners. It is always leaned towards the owners. In the last few years, we've seen a lot about the NBA PA, NFL PA, Players Associations. Every professional league has a Players Association of them kind of fighting back and asking for more, and basically being like, hey, we can lock this thing out. We are the players. And baseball hasn't seen a lockout like this in like 50 years, or 40-something years, where it's likely going to lead to spring training being canceled, either the season being canceled or the season being shortened or moved forward, which causes problems. I mean, weather. I mean, we can't have it move. We can't have it start up 2 months late because then we get into winter.
Yeah.
Playing 182 games, so it's a lot of games that need to be played. It's half a year, but the first time they met, we basically heard nothing. Like it was a 6-minute meeting, so it went really bad. It was an hour the other day. Basically, the players are just asking, although baseball players get paid more than anyone else, they're asking for their contracts to continue to move up, which I don't think is the hardest thing to ask for when the money is up. The money's been going up consistently for the last decade. So, but it's sad to me that the owners are not willing to budge or willing to. I mean, they're still going to make 50% of the profit. It's just asking for a little bit more. But it is a bummer for baseball fans and really everyone that there's a chance that because of this we're going to have a canceled, shortened, or possibly completely non-existent. They can't test these players now. You can't do contract. The players aren't allowed to work out in facilities, so they're working out on their own. They can't rehab through a team. No. So it's a really bad look. Ugh. And the only thing I see in the future is either something soon happens or baseball's canceled. We're getting very, very close to a full cancellation of a season.
That's crazy.
So you don't see that very often.
Yeah.
This
hopefully
day and age.
something gets resolved, but
yeah.
And then I guess kind of wrap up with quick Rogers talk, because that scared me. He posted something on social media, I think a couple days ago, 3 days ago, and it was saying how he's like super gratitude. Aaron Rodgers bullshit. Yeah. Honestly, it's just a very typical like, hey, I'm very grateful and all this, and obviously it's like whenever he posts, it's always media is driven. Like, oh my gosh,
every news article.
It was like it seemed like almost like even me, it almost looked like a farewell.
Yeah.
It almost looked like a farewell. It's like this is weird, but he's also just recapsulating the whole entire year.
Yeah.
And just being grateful. Because it's just nice once in a while to say it. Just natural human stuff. and then there's reports said he's going on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday, which is like, okay. Yeah, so Aaron Rodgers goes on the Pat McAfee show, and he basically just says he's just grateful for everyone, and his future is still uncertain. Very frustrating for a fan like me. I said on this podcast that offseason was miserable because it was very immature.
The whole thing,
and it's almost felt like that. Where I've gotten a lot less care. It's like if you want to leave, you want to get traded, go ahead.
Let's do it now, though.
Yeah, it's like let's go get some guys. Let's get some picks off of you if you're gonna do this. But he said he's supposed to have his answers very soon now.
Said March 8th.
Yeah, and Kenny Clark just renegotiated his contract for 2 voided years, so it's creating 11 million or 10 million.
10 million, yep.
And then Aaron Jones today just restructured his contract, so we just freed up 13 out of.
It's setting up where if he stays, he can be paid correctly and be happy. Basically, that's what they're setting it up for.
And I don't think he's necessarily there for the money.
No, he's not. But man, if he's staying, he's not staying on a budgeted deal. He's staying and being like, how much money can you guys afford to give me where you can still have a team around me? He's not.
Yeah,
he's not sticking around for a
to
veteran.
get Devon. I think if that happens, we still probably have to. We have to trade probably one of the Smiths. One of the Smiths easily because that's just I think probably Zadarius is gonna go because he was hurt. And he just has a large contract, and then we're gonna have to cut some people probably.
Most likely.
Mason Crossbar.
Yeah.
We just signed a kicker, so.
Who cares about him? Yeah.
Yeah, and then, who else? I know people with massive contracts.
Yeah, they'll have to work that out if that's what chooses. I think the big thing though is if he re-signs, I think Devontae Adams probably re-signs for the same amount of years. Mm-hmm. If he gives 2 years, I don't think Tay signs for 5.
Franchise tag will happen.
Yeah, but I don't think franchise tag happens if Rodgers signs for 3 years.
Yeah.
That would be stupid, because that leaves the door wide open for Tay.
Because then he gets signed a 5-year contract. It's well.
Yeah, no, that's what I don't think he's going to do, though. I don't think Tay wants to sign for 5.
No.
Because he's like, hey, man, I can stick with Aaron, show you guys how good I am, and then when he leaves, I can leave and go somewhere else and make better money than you guys could pay me. But we'll see.
Yeah, it's very interesting, but...
What's your prediction?
I think he stays. I don't know.
I think he retires. That's what I think.
I think he's way too competitive right now.
I think he's too spiritual.
You could definitely say that after you told me what the hell he was doing.
Yeah, look that up, guys.
That's yeah.
We'll leave it to the viewer to go Google.
Yeah, go look up what Aaron Rodgers did this weekend.
For the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, but it's just I mean I even said it before. I was like, if you guys get traded, what's the best place for him? All the places, all the places I've listed, there's dysfunction or no O-line, or even if they trade, they're gonna lose a lot of pieces and a lot of players. So whatever you do, Aaron Rodgers.
There's many places that.
Yeah.
I mean, he can start in Tampa next year. He can start. There's a handful of places he could go to, but there is no perfect place. Every place has holes, and you're making a bigger hole when you're giving up some stars to get them.
Yeah,
so
but the Denver one is just so. I'm sorry, it's just the silliest one for me because they
it's
don't
the
have
most
a line.
That's the best part.
And they don't even have an owner right now. It's not for sale. It's not real. It's not a real team.
Neither you guys. You don't have an owner.
Yeah, but
you don't have an owner, bro. Some random people in Milwaukee on your team.
Heck yeah, but we're not up for sale right now. We're not up for sale.
You can't be.
Yeah. It's just I don't know. It's very dysfunctional over there.
Yeah. We'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if by next episode we hear something. Yeah, 7 days from now, end of the month, unless he's really going to milk it until franchise day. Yeah. Which would be the biggest move. Yeah, let's not.
I think they're but
yeah.
I think that's it for the episode. It's quick one. Probably coming out tonight. Thursday, and we'll probably be back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
A lot more
Basketball
NBA talk.
thing, way more NBA. We have a full schedule. So
full schedule.
only games happened last night, basically between now and then. There was All-Star Weekend, so there's not a lot of games, but
it usually starts heating up now. Starts heating up, and then March Madness bracket next week.
Yep. And then the week after that, we get closer to kind of figuring out what Stanley Cup playoff. Oh, it'll keep rolling. It'll be a little
I'm
different.
starting to get into actually
watching the hockey games.
Yeah,
we both have. It's been fun. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. So hopefully everyone enjoyed listening or watching wherever you consuming this content, and see you Wednesday.
Later.